Thank you, Madeline. As you can see, I'm enjoying this boat, and it makes me think about today's Bible story, which has to do with a boat and with trust. We have to have trust through the storm, just like Jesus's disciples had to have trust through the storm that came to visit them. When I think about trust, I think about how I have to trust other people who study things and know more about topics that are their expertise than I do. And so that again makes me think about today's Bible story. Today's story is again my children's Bible. Oh, I'm gonna have to get off my boat. If I get off my boat, then I might be able to read from today's Bible, which is Jesus Calms the Storm, found in Luke chapter 8, verses 22 through 25. All day long, Jesus taught big crowds of people about God. Jesus was very tired, so when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let's go in our boat to the other side of the lake." While they were sailing, Jesus fell asleep. Some of his disciples were fishermen, so they knew everything about sailing and steering a boat. Surely they didn't need Jesus' help. But then came a huge thunderstorm. Thunder, boom, lightning, flash. A big wind came whistling and howling and racing across the water right at them. By this time, they were in the middle of the lake, and there was nothing they could do. The small boat rocked from side to side, and as it rocked, water poured in. "We're going to sink," cried one of the men. Even the fishermen who knew all about sailing were terrified. "Wake up, Jesus," they shouted. "Save us." Jesus stood up and he said to the wind, "Stop." And it stopped. "Why were you so afraid?" he asked his disciples. "Don't you have any faith?" "Who is this?" the disciples whispered to each other. "Even the wind obeys him." Jesus is God's Son, and he is greater than the wind, waves, and our biggest fears. Trust. We need to have trust in those who know more about certain areas that they study than we do. During this time through the storm, we need to trust the doctors and nurses that are doing the best they can to take care of those who are sick. We also need to trust the scientists who are learning as much as they can about this crazy disease. We also need to trust the adults that are around us to know that they are making decisions about us and our family that will keep us safe. And finally, we need to trust in God that he will take care of us always. So it's time for today's Bible verse. The daily verse is from Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." All right, let's break it down. Put some movements with it. Remember we talked about fear? So do not fear, for I am with you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. Think you got it? Let's do it together. Here comes the challenge. See if you can do it along with me. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. All right, Madeline. I trust that you have more exciting things ahead for VBS. I cannot wait to see what's next. Back to you.